Happy Halloween, everyone. In today's video, I have prepared something special for all of you. Today I will show you one of my comics, which is Frankenstein. This is the first and only horror I've ever watched or read. This novel was written by Mary Shelley. However, the comic adaptation of this novel was made by George Bess. George Bess added a lot of his own details here that improved the story. Here you can see all the details of the book cover. On the back you can see more interesting details that describe the work. The comic has been translated into many different languages, including mine. Now we will see what the comic actually looks like. You will be able to notice many details similar to manga. For all of you who haven't heard of Frankenstein, here's a brief description. As you might expect, this is still a horror comic so the story is also terrible. Human curiosity and desire for knowledge are described in this novel. I warn you about spoilers if you haven't or intend to. Read the book, comic, or watch the movie. The story begins with the crew trapped in the north on the frozen sea. The captain of the crew, Walter, plans to discover how to sail around the world. However, on the way, they meet a young scientist named Victor Frankenstein. Victor tells them his life story and the reason why some secrets should remain undisclosed. Victor says that, since his youth, he loved science, and he had a great desire for knowledge. His desire for knowledge lit a fire that would burn everything he loved. As a young man, Victor left his home in Geneva and went to Germany to study medicine and science. At college, he quickly acquired a certain amount of knowledge and surpassed his teachers. Victor was most interested in biology and the way the human body works.
Nothing stood in Victor's way. Not even the dead. Victor stole corpses from cemeteries, morgues, and various other places. Studying corpses, Victor realized how to revive a lifeless body.
Because the size of human organs was a problem, Victor decided to create a tall being. At first, Victor is excited about the fact that he is about to create life. But when he revives his creation, he realizes his mistake. The creature he created is disgusting, ugly, and rather large. Victor realizes that the experiment was a mistake and leaves the room in fear. The creature remains alone, innocent like a child, strong like 10 people, and ugly like a demon. Wherever it appears, the creature inspires fear and hatred in those who see it. The creature finds hiding place in the barn of a village family. By observing this family, the monster learns everything about humans, including language. However, things change when the creature wants to emotionally connect with its family. Although his wishes were sincere, the creature was rejected due to its hideous appearance. Of course, things got even worse when the creature saw its reflection in the river. The creature finally realized that he was created from corpses and realizes why his appearance is disgusting. He understands why people fear him and why they hate him as soon as they see him. The monster swears revenge on his creator. The monster kills Victor's brother. After that, Hui, the monster, and Victor meet again. The monster wants only one thing from Victor. The monster wants Victor to create another monster, a female one, while promising that the two of them will live apart from the human race. At the beginning, Victor agrees, but in the end he destroys the almost complete female monster. Victor was afraid that the monsters would multiply and threaten the human race. When the monster found out what Victor had done, the monster killed Victor's best friend Henry. After that, the monster also kills Victor's wife Elizabeth. Victor's mother died when he was young, and his father dies of a heart attack after learning of Elizabeth's death. Victor then decides to find the monster and kill it as a sign of revenge. He chases the monster all the way to the North Pole, where he encounters Captain Walden and his crew. After some time, Victor died on Walden's ship, not long after telling his whole story. The monster appears on the ship and coincidentally meets Captain Walden. After a short conversation between the two, the monster realizes that it was wrong, like Victor. The monster takes Victor's body, leaves the ship, and says he will light a fire where he will burn with his creator. Walden and his crew return from the north, realizing the consequences of Forbidden's knowledge. This story is much more than tragedy or science fiction or modern horror. This story is a symbol of human curiosity or human hatred of the unknown. Frankenstein is a work that is definitely worth reading. This comic adaptation is one of the better ones, and the story hasn't changed unlike many other comics. Manga details and beautiful drawings make it feel like you're watching a movie. The story is different in many movies or animated versions of this novel. Personally, with comics, I like the design of the characters and the perspective of the story. Have you ever read a novel or comic book or manga? I wanted this video to be a Halloween special, but I decided to post it a little early. Who do you think is the villain in this story? Irresponsible scientist or creature? Both showed a certain amount of good and evil in the story. The real irony begins when you realize that Victor was looking for a cure for death, and he created a monster that created death all around him.
Victor dies first, and after his death we see that the monster, although he hates him, still respects him as a father. When I started reading this kind of work, I didn't know what kind of ending would be appropriate when both main characters did a lot of evil. The lesson of this work would be that knowledge is not the key to success or happiness in life. It also teaches us that we must not allow our ambitions to control us. One of the best parts of this piece is that we have two perspectives on the story. First, we see the story from Victor's perspective. Next, we can see the story through the creature's eyes. A big mistake fans make is calling the monster Frankenstein. Frankenstein is the scientist's last name, not the monster's name. Write in the comments what you think about this comic and story. I I hope that with this video I have slightly improved my opinion about this story, and that the novel is not as much of a horror as the movies.
Write what you think about this work and what impressions it left on you. I hope you liked the video and will subscribe and like for the further progress of the channel. Write in the comments if you have ideas for the continuation of my channel. I read all your comments. Enjoy the rest of the comic. And once again, happy Halloween, everyone. See you soon.